everybody. If you are someone who makes new health and fitness goals, and at the beginning you start off incredibly strong, you're doing well, and then life happens and things come up and then you quickly go back to old habits, then you need to listen up. If you're tired of restarting and just going through the same motions when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals, and today I want you to tune in for how you can learn to never give up on another health and fitness goal again. So guys, one day, day one, it's up to you. You decide, but these 5 tips are really going to help you when you are starting out a new plan or a lifestyle change that you're wanting to maintain long term. So the first tip here, guys, if you want to stay with it, if you actually want to reach your health and fitness, your health and wellness goals, the number one, the most important thing, you need to know your why. You have to know your why. And so many people, they skip over this part, and like I said, it is the most important component. Very oftentimes we will set goals for ourselves, but we don't typically say why we're wanting to reach those goals. And this is what we're talking about now. This is not your overall goal. This is not, I want to lose this amount of weight, or I want to lift this amount of weight, or I want to be able to perform this movement well. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about why you want to do those things. So knowing your why is the most important key to becoming successful. This is really the main reason why you won't give up. Because things are going to get hard, guys. When you are stepping out and you're trying to make some changes, you're trying to form some healthier habits, it's going to be difficult. It's not always going to be easy, and success is not linear. So when those times happen, when life gets in the way, when stress comes, knowing your why is ultimately going to be what keeps you centered and grounded. And your why should be something that provokes emotion. This should be very personal. It should provoke a lot of emotion in you, and it should provoke emotion in other people when they hear your story. So this needs to be something that is very deep in detail. So, for example, a why could be wanting to start a new health, fitness, and wellness plan, and adopting an overall healthier lifestyle because you got a poor diagnosis from the doctor, okay? Maybe you got diagnosed with diabetes or cancer or heart disease, and you're like, I need to make some changes. So your why is being healthy, regaining health, because now you have a newfound appreciation for what health actually is, and that so many of us take it for granted. Maybe it's living long enough to see your grandchildren grow up, or being able to move well enough to keep up with your grandchildren. Okay, these are whys. These are things that are emotionally driven, that are ultimately going to bring you back to that place of, oh yeah, this is the purpose. This is the reason. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and this is far greater than any excuse that you may have for yourself. So guys, number one, you have to know your why. Identify your why, write it out, post it up, do what you need to do, so it is a constant reminder every single day that you are doing this for a higher purpose. All right, number two, you need to be realistic. All right, so realistic in your goal setting and realistic in your mental, physical capabilities. All right, whatever you're ready for. So being realistic about your goals means that it needs to be something that not only anybody could do, right? It's realistic for a human to do, we'll say that, for a person to do, as far as, the time limit or the amount of work So just because it's realistic for somebody else does not mean right now in your current fitness and health journey that it's realistic for you. So you need to be honest with yourself. And what do I mean by this? Okay, we're not going to say and set a goal of losing 100 pounds in 2 months. Okay, that is not a realistic goal. It's not a realistic goal for you. It's not a realistic goal for anybody. Now, you can lose 100 pounds in a year, but maybe because of your current circumstances, what time you can actually devote to working out and to making your health a priority, to cooking fresh meals, a year may not be realistic for you, although it's realistic for people in general. Maybe a year and a half is a more realistic time frame for you to reach your overall health and fitness goals and then to maintain from there on out. But whatever that looks like, guys, be realistic, be honest with yourself and where you're currently at and what that actually takes to get to where you want to be. All right, number 3 is to set attainable short-term goals. So we have our long-term goal, that's the end result, the thing that we want to maintain going forward, but in order to reach that long-term goal, you have to set many short-term goals during that process to ultimately get to that end goal, all right? And these things need to be attainable. These need to be something, again, with your lifestyle, your current resources, and, whatever that looks like for you. It needs to be something that you can do. So these are developing small, attainable, healthy habits along the way. So for example, a short-term goal could be, instead of watching TV every single night for this many hours, I'm going to cut it down to this. And in that time frame, I'm going to go on a walk, or I'm going to work out, or I'm going to prepare my meals for the week. Whatever that looks like. You're setting attainable short-term goals that ultimately are going to get you to that long-term goal, but they're realistic and attainable habits that you can do right now. And maybe for you, that's just, I'm going to drink water today. So you're setting a short-term goal of, I'm going to drink nothing but water today. And maybe that's where you're at. Or I'm going to get up at this time so I have all the available time needed to get done what I set out to do. Okay? These are short, attainable goals that are going to get you to where you need to be. All right, number 4, you need to keep a maintainable pace. And this is one that I see very often, where people start off very strong and they're doing well and they're getting results, but then they get burnt out. Okay, it's super common. Don't go all in, full force, full speed right at the beginning, okay? This is more about keeping a maintainable pace. So this is a marathon, not a sprint. You gotta think that regardless of the time frame it may take for you to reach your overall goal, this is something that you need to maintain long term. Okay, so these need to be things that you can do every single day for the rest of your life. Because even if you do it and you reach that goal and then you stop doing those things that got you there, you'll end up right back where you started. So keep a pace that's not going to burn you out. It's maintainable. I always say this to my clients and to my friends, consistency beats intensity every single time. Every single time. So we want to do things that you can be realistic about, that are attainable, but that you can also do with consistency. Okay? Consistency. It's all about getting up and just making one good decision after another. That consistency will always beat intensity. All right, guys, last one here, number 5, you need to adopt a mindset of progress over perfection, okay? Adopt this mentality, progress over perfection. Guys, this is also a big one because we have a lot of people out there like myself who would probably identify as being a perfectionist, and we are all or nothing people. We're either all in or we're all out. We're not lukewarm about anything. and that includes health and fitness goals. So if you're someone who gets going, like I said, really well at the beginning, and you're going strong, and then you make a mistake, right? A mistake. You do something that's not according to your plan. Then you just like completely regress, and you're like, oh, well, I ate a piece of chocolate today, so I'm just gonna eat the whole box of chocolates because the whole day's ruined, all right? This type of mentality is not going to be maintainable long term because you're not perfect. You are human, you are flawed, and you are not perfect in any other area of your life. You cannot expect to be perfect when it comes to your overall health, fitness, and wellness goals. So we really want to focus more than anything not something of perfection, but of progress. And that means that you need to track your results. Yes, taking weights can be effective. Yes, taking measurements can be effective. Yes, calculating your strength levels can be effective. So we want to be doing these things, all of these things, taking before and after photos, and most importantly, really focusing on those non-weight victories. Okay, so these are things that have nothing to do with the scale, and oftentimes have to do with things that are very small, that can go easily unnoticed by the common person, but you notice it. So for example, this could be something like, I can now walk up a flight of stairs without getting winded. Or I got down on the ground and I played with my grandchildren and I was able to stand back up again unassisted. Okay, these are little things that ultimately have a big impact in your life. They improve your quality of life over time. And when you really focus on these things, the progress that you're making in all different areas in your life, not just your weight, not just what you look like, not just what the scale says or how your clothes fit. And yes, those things matter, but they are not everything. You need to focus on these other avenues where you're seeing progress, okay? Because ultimately, if you're getting results, and you will, it may not always show on the scale, but you will get results, these non-weight victories. You need to focus on them and celebrate them. And when you do that, that is going to override this perfection mentality because you're going to be driven by results. So guys, there you have it. How to never give up on your health and fitness goals ever again. You really have to incorporate all 5 of these things for it to be effective. So quick recap, guys. You need to know your why, your overall purpose. You need to be realistic about your journey, where you're at and where you're going. You then need to set attainable short-term goals to get to that long-term end result. And you got to keep a maintainable pace. So don't burn out. Consistency beats intensity. And then last but not least, adopt that progress over perfection mentality. All right, you heard it here first, guys. I love you. And until next time, never give up, never lose hope, never settle. I'll see you back here same time, same place next week for your week